All right, guys, let's do this. I'm going to keep this one really quick and simple, just so that it's as useful as possible to y'all. And then in other videos, I'll yap more and be less coherent. All right, enabling the developer console. In your game, boot your game up, get into Counter-Strike 2. Excuse me, get into Counter-Strike 2, go to the settings menu. In this magnifying glass search bar, type console, and then up here it says enable developer console. Select enable developer console. At the top of your screen, you are now going to see this pop-down menu, open up menu, enable developer console. It's going to say no, select yes. Now you have enabled your developer console. Click this handy dandy link directly below that yes that we just selected. We have now been transported to the keybind for our developer console. Change this to whatever key you want um, to press when you want to open your console. Most people use the key that I'm pressing on the overlay right now. It's called the tilde key, as far as I'm aware. Um, you can use that button. It's under the escape key to the left of one, above tab. Most people use that. Use whatever you want. Okay, now that we have enabled the developer console, we have access to this handy dandy tool, which lets us run commands. It lets us change settings, and I will get more into all of the great stuff that the developer console can do in a different video, or that the developer console can do in a different video. Now I'm going to show you where to locate your CFG file so that you can make your own CFG files and uh, yeah, make your own CFG files. All right, so go to the Steam library, right-click CS2, go to Manage, browse local files. You will now find yourself in a folder called Counter-Strike Global Offensive. This other stuff in front of Counter-Strike Global Offensive, or like behind Global Offensive, this stuff can change based on where you installed the game. The important thing is that when you go to your Steam library, you can access that folder directly by right-clicking Counter-Strike 2, going to Manage, Browse Local Files, and now you will find yourself in Counter-Strike Global Offensive. In the Counter-Strike Global Offensive folder, select the Game folder. If you do not have the Game folder, close out of this window and validate your local files in Counter-Strike 2, because you should have a folder titled Game, and if it's not here, you should go validate files to get it back. So go into the Game folder, open now that you are in the Game folder. You've gone Counter-Strike Global Offensive to the Game folder. Now that we're in the Game folder, open the CSGO folder. Open the CSGO folder in the Game folder. Now that we are in the CSGO folder, open the CFG folder. You are now in the location that the game looks for and stores CFG files. Assuming that you had the same experience that I did when I first located this folder, um, you will not see file name extensions, which we do want to see. So if you're on Windows 11, you will be able to find the View drop-down menu like this. It'll be at the top. It'll look like this. If you're on Windows 10, I think it's going to look a little different, but you can still find the setting that we need to change through the View options. So find your View options if you're on Windows 10. It'll look a little bit different than mine, I think. Once you find the View drop-down menu, go to the Show drop-down menu in that View menu, and then find the File Name Extensions option and select it. Now you can see file name extensions on all of your files, which will make editing and creating new CFG files a lot easier for us. Now that we can see our file name extensions, oh, by the way, let's just say that you've opened this and it looks like this or something, or maybe it looks like small icons, or maybe it looks like large icons. Go ahead and in that view option, select details if you want to see the like old school view model for File Explorer. I'm cooked. All right, creating a new CFG file. Right click inside the CFG folder, right click, and then select new text document. You should have created a file that is of the type text document. At the end of it, it should say .txt. If you hover over it, this pop-up window will say text document. Now we can select that text document by left-clicking it once. We can then right-click it once, and then we can now rename this text document. Change it to any name you want. So I'm just going to say example name here. example underscore name. And then the critical thing is that you not only got rid of the name new text document, but you also got rid of the .txt file name extension. Now we're going to replace the .txt file name extension with .cfg. We're going to press enter now that we've typed .cfg in the name file, whatever. This window pops up. If you change a file name extension, the file might become unusable. Are you sure you still want to change it? As long as we typed .cfg, everything is good to go. Click yes. If you did that correctly, when you hover over this window, this pop-up window will now say CFG file. The file name extension will say .cfg. The type column will say CFG file. To open your CFG files, you can either double-click it, and it should open in the Notepad, the same application that we edit .txt files in. So it should open in the Notepad, but with a double click, or you can right click it and select Edit in Notepad manually to open it in the Notepad. You should now have a blank CFG file at your disposal, in which you can write any command that you want the console to run when this config file is executed. So please check out my next video on how to actually use the config file system and how to actually use the console and the different commands and functionalities and everything that the console offers us. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment down below if you have any questions or feel like I left anything out or missed anything in this tutorial video. I just wanted to make a quick one for people to reference that had nothing to do with like bunny hopping and had nothing to do with anything besides just finding the config files, how to make them, how to enable the developer console. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was helpful. Comment down below if you need anything. Feel free to add me on Steam if you want to connect with me there. If you do add me on Steam though, please just comment on my profile that you like came from YouTube or something, because there's a lot of scammers that just like spam ad, and they're pretty obvious. And so far, nobody who's added me from YouTube looks like a scam, like the obvious scammer accounts. But um, you know, whatever. Just add me on Steam, comment on my profile when you add me so that I know that you're coming from YouTube or whatever. And I'm looking forward to talking with you guys who reach out. So thanks so much for watching. Bye.